Hey everyone, Teo here. Today I'm going to review the Gaomon PD1320 pen display. This video may be a bit long, so if you want to save time, you can check out the text review that I have already written on my blog. The link is in the video description below, or you can use the timestamps provided to jump to different sections of this video. Alright, first of all, disclaimer, this is a review unit from Gaomon, and let me just give you the bottom line up front. This is a 13.3-inch pen display with pretty good color accuracy. The surface is matte for a tactile drawing experience. The pen is quite sensitive, has minimal initial activation force, which is to say that you can draw thin lines very easily, even if you are using a thick brush, and the performance is very consistent, very predictable. There are no surprises. The overall drawing performance and the experience I got from this pen display is very positive, except with Adobe Illustrator on Mac OS, which for some reason just doesn't have pressure sensitivity. But other than that, I was able to just get whatever lines I want with this pen with the various drawing apps that I have tested. So that's the bottom line. This pen display, it performs pretty well when it comes to drawing. So yeah, let's take a look at the things included with the price, which is $319 US. The price may vary depending on whether or not there is any promotion going on. These are the things included. This is a foldable flip cover for the pen display, an artist glove, quick start guide, microfiber cleaning cloth, country-specific plugs for the USB wall power adapter, 2-in-1 cable. On one side we have two USB-A connectors. This is to the power source. This is to your computer to get data so that the pen can be recognized. And this is to connect to the pen display. This is USB-C. This is mini HDMI to full-size HDMI. So you're supposed to use these two cables to connect your computer to the pen display. The pen display actually supports USB-C connection, but no USB-C cable is included. And this is the pen stand and the pen. Hidden inside the pen stand are 8 replacement nibs, and that's the nib remover at the bottom. There is no rubber here, so this pen stand is quite slippery on the table. And this is the Gaomon AP50 pen. It's not powered by battery, so no charging required. There are 2 side buttons here with very firm clicks. The rubber grip here is quite comfortable to hold, but as you can see, can attract dust quite easily. The pen nib has some movement to it. Now this pen supports tilt sensitivity and slightly over 8,000 levels of pressure sensitivity. The pen is lightweight. It feels a bit plasticky, but the overall build quality is solid enough. This foldable flip cover is the type that's commonly used with tablets. So this will cover the front of the pen display, and there is this flap here with double side tape that you are supposed to tape to the back of the pen display like this. And this, by the way, is the back of the pen display with 4 big rubber feet and a huge logo here. After you fold the cover into a triangle, this will help prop up the pen display so that you can draw on this at a more comfortable angle. The proper stands are sold separately on Gaomon's website. This is the Gaomon GMS01, which is priced at US $49, and this is the GMS02, which is priced at $52 US. You can buy them on Amazon as well. The pen display's design is very clean and simple with rounded corners, and as shown earlier, there are curved edges here. Overall, it's quite flat. It's thinner than most laptops. On the left side here, we have a 3.5mm audio jack, and this is a push and toggle button, so you can use this to adjust the brightness. When you push this, you get into the OSD, and you can use this to navigate. And when you have an earphone connected here, this will adjust the volume. Right at the top here is this power button, which you have to press and hold to power on or off, or when you just do a quick press like this, it will switch the video input from HDMI to USB-C. On the right side of the display, we have two USB-C ports and a mini HDMI. I've just connected the pen display to this laptop running Windows 10. I'm using two cables, the HDMI cable and the 2-in-1 cable. So this end is the USB-C, the other end is the USB-A. If your computer can provide enough power through this USB-A port, then it can power the pen display. If it doesn't provide enough power, you have to connect this to an external power source. Now the cables are 1.5 meters long, which is good. They are quite long. If your computer has USB-C, definitely use the USB-C connection. Let me show you. So with USB-C, you just need this single cable. If you use USB-C from your laptop or from your Android phone or tablet to power the pen display, it's going to drain the battery life much faster. So you may want to connect this pen display or the laptop to a power source. Now if you connect this pen display to the power source like this, it can actually charge the laptop or your tablet or phone. This is a beautiful pen display. The colors look great out of the box. Using a Spider 5 Pro color calibrator, I measured color support for 100% sRGB, 87% Adobe RGB, so color accuracy for this pen display is actually quite good. The maximum brightness I've measured is up to 160 nits. I wish it could be higher, but 160 nits is still quite decent. This is 160 nits. This is a matte textured surface, and this comes from a matte screen protector. When you first take the pen display out of the box, there is actually a red sticker here telling you to peel off the protective film on top of the matte screen protector. So when you peel this off, make sure this is still matte. Make sure you do not peel off the screen protector. This is not supposed to be glossy. This is not supposed to be reflective. And this is the anti-glare on the matte screen protector. It's not particularly aggressive in the sense that you can see white haze, but you can still see the colors showing through. And the viewing angles are quite good, as in the colors, they don't shift much when you view the display from extreme angles like this. The matte screen protector is nice to draw on, but it does introduce some graininess, fuzziness, or color noise. I'm not sure if my camera can capture that. Let me just move this display around to see if you can spot or see the color noise. Let's zoom in here. So I'm not sure if you can see the fuzziness. Anyway, that's the compromise you have to work with, because all matte textured surface will introduce some grain or color noise to the image quality. This is a 13.3-inch pen display. Just to compare this drawing area to an A4 size paper. This A4 size paper has the same length, but you can see it's longer by this much on the shorter end. Now there is actually another model, the PD1320, which is 11.6 inches, which is going to be smaller. If you have the budget, definitely get the 13.3 inch, which gives you a larger and more comfortable drawing area to work with. Resolution is just 1080p, so pixelation is definitely noticeable with the user interface elements like the menus, the icons, everything. 1080p resolution is still very usable. Now this display is not a touch screen, so it doesn't support finger gesture. The matte screen protector provides a tactile drawing experience, but I would say this screen protector is on the smoother side. It's not slippery though. This display is laminated, so there is very minimal gap between the drawing surface and the LCD beneath. So when you're drawing, it really looks like the line is appearing directly beneath the pen tip. And if you see any gap in this video, it's because my camera is pointing at an angle. When you look from the front, it's going to look like this. Cursor tracking is quite accurate even at the extreme edges. During the initial cursor calibration, around this right edge here, the cursor was actually 2-3 mm away from the pen nib. It's a sizable distance away. So during the cursor calibration, I had to click either higher or lower just to make sure that the cursor will be beneath the pen nib. So after proper calibration, the cursor is now directly beneath the pen nib, even at the extreme edge here. Let me show you what you can change with the OSD. So just press this button here to go into the OSD, and you can press the button at the top to exit. So this button here is to enter. You can use the toggle to move around. So here you can adjust the brightness, contrast, dynamic ratio. You can adjust color temperature, the RGB, and all the other settings you can probably just leave as default. I've tested the Mac driver from Feb 2021 and Windows driver from December 2020. They have essentially similar functionality, except with the Windows driver, there is this additional Windows Ink feature which you may have to toggle on or off if pressure sensitivity is not working as expected. So there's actually not much you can do with the driver because there are no physical shortcut buttons on the pen display, so you can't customize the buttons which are not there. Here you can customize the pressure curve and you can customize the two side buttons here. I'm using this pen display with a laptop, so I need to set one of the button here to switch displays so that I can move the cursor from this display to my laptop and back. If you're just using the pen display as your main monitor, you can just use whatever or assign whatever shortcut that is available here. Under work area, you may need to calibrate the cursor to the pen tip, and if so, just click on here, monitor calibration, and follow the calibration instructions. And that's pretty much it for the driver. Time for some line quality tests. So this is Adobe Photoshop, and the brush I'm using has 10% smoothing applied. So this is a sensitive pen. I can draw thin and thick lines very easily. The lines also taper quite nicely, quite gradually, and I can apply very minimal pressure to get these thin lines. And this is how thick that brush really is. The line transition from thin to thick is quite smooth. Let me reduce the smoothing to 0% and see what happens. So when it's at 0%, I can see some wobble to the thickness. But overall performance, it's still pretty good. You can also tap on the display to draw dots. You can expect the same drawing performance with other drawing apps. I have tested Mi Bang Paint Pro, Clip Studio Paint, Krita, Affinity Photo, Affinity Designer. All those apps perform really well. So this is a good pen. It's easy to draw with, as in the lines, they always come out exactly the way I expect them to, so there are no surprises. The performance is very consistent, very predictable. This matte texture is actually quite nice to work with. It's certainly not as textured compared to other matte screen protectors or matte glass displays that I have tested, but it's good. There is still the tactile drawing experience that most artists would want out of a matte screen protector. And the overall drawing performance, as in there is no lag or latency that I experience. One thing I notice is sometimes the pen would make this squeaky sound. So under certain situations, the pen will make the squeaky sound. Now the thing with matte screen protectors is it will scratch eventually, so if you don't want your screen protector to scratch, then you may want to adjust the pressure curve so that you can draw thicker lines without actually having to press down too hard. But it's unavoidable that matte screen protectors will scratch, so just be prepared. So my overall drawing experience with this pen display is actually pretty positive. Let me show you the issue with Adobe Illustrator on macOS. So with this round brush that I have selected, I am not able to set it to change the size with pressure sensitivity. The option is just grayed out here. This problem with Adobe Illustrator not having pressure sensitivity is quite a common problem with other pen displays from other brands. My usual workaround is to install Wacom driver in addition to whatever driver that's already installed. And in this case, it still doesn't work. And for some reason, it always affects Adobe Illustrator on Mac OS. The Windows version works just fine. Anyway, if you want to create vector graphics, you can consider using Affinity Designer. Here, pressure, it does work. This is Kritar, and tilt sensitivity works. You can see the cursor, it follows the direction of the pen. And tilt sensitivity works quite well. There will be some lag when you're using really textured brushes though. And tilt can work right to the edge of the display as well. And there is pressure and tilt working together, but you can see the lag there. If you want to use your pen display with Android, here are some things you should take note of. The most important thing is make sure your phone or Android tablet is able to output video signal through the USB-C port. In this case, I'm connecting the pen display to my Samsung phone here, and this can actually output video and has this desktop mode. This phone is not able to power the pen display, so I had to connect to an external power source here, but my Android tablet can actually power the pen display. So with Android is designed for touch interface, so because this is not a touch screen, you have to use the pen to do everything. And when it comes to using some drawing apps, for example, concepts, there is no way to navigate without using finger gestures. So to navigate, I have to choose the pen tool here to move around, but I can't zoom in and out or rotate. If I have to draw again, I have to choose the brush, and if I have to move, I have to choose the move or pen tool again. It's very inconvenient. And now I have the Samsung Galaxy Tab S7 Plus connected to the pen display. Yesterday it was able to power the pen display. Today I had to use the external power source. Now the user experience here is slightly better because I can actually use this tablet as a trackpad. This tablet has the feature that allows you to use it as a trackpad. So you can use this to navigate and move around, rotate, zoom in and out. So you can draw and move around. But in this case, this setup actually doesn't make a lot of sense because this is a 12.4 inch display and it supports an active stylus, so you can actually already draw on this tablet. So it doesn't make sense to connect this to a pen display to draw when this is only like 1+ inch larger. It makes more sense if you are using a tablet or phone that doesn't support an active stylus. So this will allow you to draw with this active stylus and you get access to pressure sensitivity and you can use the Android drawing apps. However, there are no drivers for Android, so there is no way for you to adjust the pressure sensitivity, at least with Android. Some drawing apps may allow you to adjust pressure sensitivity within the app itself, but basically there is going to be very limited customization when it comes to using the pen. Drawing experience with drawing apps on Android can vary significantly depending on the apps you use. So for example, with Mediabank Paint Pro, there is pressure sensitivity. However, there is noticeable lag. With other apps that I've tried, sometimes there is no pressure sensitivity. So for example, with Concepts, which is one of my favorite drawing apps on Android, pressure sensitivity doesn't work. And this illustration is actually not drawn with a brush. It's actually drawn with this fill tool. So I don't have to use pressure to create these shapes. But if you need pressure and pressure doesn't work, then it's going to be very frustrating. All right, to conclude, I have already mentioned the bottom line right at the start of this video. So just to summarize, this pen display, it looks good, has good colors, good build quality, the pen is sensitive with minimal initial activation force, and the overall drawing performance and experience is very positive. The only glitch I experienced was with Adobe Illustrator on macOS, where there is no pressure sensitivity. But other than that, when it comes to drawing, this is a good pen display that you can consider getting. The downsides, the foldable cover stand, I don't think it's that great, so you may have to factor in extra money to buy a proper stand, and there is no USB-C cable included, so again you may have to factor in extra money to buy that. The matte textured screen protector is nice to draw on, but it does introduce some grain or fuzziness or color noise to the image quality, but that's the compromise you have to work with when it comes to drawing on a matte screen protector, because I mean you want that texture, but that will also affect the image quality. So overall, it's a good pen display when it comes to drawing, except for those minor downsides. Alright, if you guys have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. I hope this video is helpful. See you in the next review. Bye!